Well, it's the end of the year again, and boy, was it a rough one.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, our little podcast took a bit of a hiatus, and then we returned in a new form, but well, it's the end of the year, and so it's time for another special. Joining me are on the bottom right, Maru, on the bottom middle, Mette, on the bottom left, Colin, and the top right, Derek. Welcome everyone to the special episode, basically, and the Year of the End special. We're almost there. We're almost
Woo!
there.
Woo! Bravo! Finally!
Bravo!
Finally,
Bravo!
it's almost over.
It's almost over.
Maybe the curse will be broken next year. No more.
No more.
It's
Please.
been a rough year, man. It's
Please.
been a rough year.
Indeed it has. Indeed it has.
Oh man. So in any case, well, even though the podcast was a bit gone for a while, this is a bit of a personal moment. I'm really glad I decided to just restart it in a new form, even though we're transitioning from 48 Talk to Idle Downtime. Hence, both logos in the background now. So it's more like we'll still do 48 Talk if there's enough news from the 48 group. But for now, since we're talking about idols in general, we'll keep going as Idle Downtime basically. And on the channel, you have noticed we've been experimenting a lot. Mette did an unboxing video, Maru did a reaction video, and I personally have been live streaming a bit actually, playing a couple of games, and the purpose of it was basically just to diversify content, not just the podcast, but more of a variety in content, I would say. So let me know what you think, and during the days we're not recording, I'm going to play a couple of games actually. So let me know what you think. How have you guys been though? It's been actually a while. Your
A bit
mic is cut
odd,
out.
but
Oh, yeah. Your mic cut out.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
And now it's back.
Wait. I have that little thing going on with the mic. I don't know what it is. If that happens again, say it again. I think it's maybe it's the microphone itself. But
We'll need to
doing
figure
fine.
out the hand side.
Do the hand sign. Do a hand sign. I hope I'll notice. Oh my god. Sometimes I'm like staring somewhere and I don't notice. But Christmas was fine for me. Maybe weirder for others, but we've been doing rather same things what we've always been doing. Grandma comes and we're doing gourmette, which we love. And other than that, presents, watching movies, having a good time with one another. For us, it's been doing good, just normal. We can do it. We will do it. Just fine. I don't have any complaints.
Maru, what are you up to?
Well, what have I been up to? I've moved back to home because, well, Corona has gotten worse in my country, and other than that, I've just been chilling. I've been trying to learn Korean,
Oh
ranted
wow.
to Meta about it, as I tend to do these days. Yeah. So, like, I really have to thank you, DX, for dragging me into this because, I'm not only get to know all of you more, but I got to know Meta more, and she's my go-to rad person now. So it's been nice.
Mette, what's going on?
No, it's been Christmas. I got a lot of books that I wanted for Christmas. So I would say that's a win when you get every single book you wanted for Christmas for me.
Some nice.
Definitely.
Nice. Derek, how was it on your end?
Yeah, just busy as usual. I mean, it's been the story of this year for me is my busyness ramped up to a level that's never been like ever before in my life, but not like a bad busy, just creative a lot. Like I put out a lot of photo books, finished my documentary, like there's just so much stuff that I've done. And then the past couple days, really, just between Christmas and even like tonight, like I worked 2 idol shows today, one after the other, and then have more idol shows coming. And on the 31st, like I'm doing an interview with an idol group for the Italian blog series that I'm working with to put out interviews. So yeah, it's just every day. It's been good though. It's not. I mean, this year's been kind of crappy overall for a lot of reasons, but it's also been good for many other reasons too. And
Yeah, gotcha.
so it's been a weird balance. I'd say more on the bad on if I was being honest, just because Corona really just disrupted everything.
Yeah,
But
no
at the
kidding.
same time, I mean, it's that's life, and if it's not Corona, it's something else that's gonna bring the bad. So you have to kind of look for the good too, I think. And I think this podcast was really one of the best things to come out of this year too, and something I'm very happy that you decided to do. It's kind of like honoring what we did all those those years
Yeah, exactly.
with Robin. And to be honest, I didn't think it'd be you that would have restarted. I thought it'd been me or Colin, but it's nice that you did it. And it because you're the one that talked maybe the least in the podcast. You were just always like the 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 the
Yeah, I was.
calm sounding
Yeah,
board
exactly.
between me, you, Colin, and Robin. But I think at the same time, it's very cool that you did that, and like we can be part of it. Now we have, these two lovely ladies with us doing it as well, and I mean, Marta Berry was, Crazy Girl was Crazy Girl in the comments for
Yep,
how
exactly.
long?
Exactly.
So it felt like she
Very-
was part of our podcast, and Met's been there forever. So it's just it's nice to have them too. It's also good that we're doing something that has like a female perspective as well as a male perspective. I like that. I
Exactly, yeah.
like that you know, it's more balanced, it's more gender favorable that way. I'm sure the people that watch us appreciate that. Like we have female fans that watch, don't we? I
Yeah,
mean,
I think so,
besides
yeah.
you two. So yeah, like it's
I was one,
mhm.
so there better be
Yeah.
others.
Yeah, it better be, right? But it's like I think overall it's one of the better highlights of the year that we can all come together and do this. So I've been thinking about all this. That's another thing I've been doing the past couple days is reflecting,
Aw.
as I'm
Yeah,
sure we all
exactly.
have.
Aw.
I totally agree. No,
Yeah.
perfect. Yeah.
So
Mm.
I remember being so not confident in doing it, but then I did the pilot episode with Maru basically, just
It was
to
awesome.
yeah,
Enjoyed it.
just to get some practice in, and then I decided let's bring the old crew back and let's see where it goes from there out. And basically, 48
Well,
Dog has now evolved basically.
yeah,
In
and the good thing is like with this though, DX is like when I watched your guys' pilot, I was like, oh wait, there's something here. Like you need to keep it going because at the end of the day, I think as humans, especially and especially now when it's like somewhat dangerous, I guess, to be together in a room. I don't really buy that 100%, but at the same time, you know what I mean. I don't want to get in a debate about that, but
yeah,
I'm saying
exactly.
like we can get together like in this format but just watching you and Crazy Girl go back and forth and just talk, it was like, yeah, I miss that, especially here in Tokyo with I all day 100% I'm speaking Japanese, and it's like nice to have people I don't have to speak Japanese with, and also to just talk about things I love, which is basically idol. So, I live, eat, breathe it. So, but it's nice to hear everyone else's perspective too. So, I really, really think you did a good job with that, and I'm sure everybody that watches this agrees. Just judging from all the comments we get every week. So,
So, since this is an end of the year specials, there are categories. Colin, would you mind
mhm.
reciting them for me? If your mic works.
Order. I hope so. Oh, it's weird.
might
I think
might want to start again though.
I should have asked for a new microphone or headset for Christmas. In hindsight, I should have done that. Because it's weird. But I see the light. Light is not on, so it means it works. But basically, if it happens, say it to me again. I can't tell. So the categories for this year, we recited them last time, but for today, we're doing Best Year for Idol, followed by New Discovery. After that, we're getting Best Costume, then Worst Costume, Best Performance, the Worst Song, the Best Song, and then the Most Shocking Moment. We've all been given a category to sort of like host, so it's not just DX who will be doing the host duties. But you may notice, I will address it in a bit. I hope I'm not disrespectful. But Meta will not be hosting one. She is not feeling too well, which we understand. It happens. So she will not be hosting one because we want to make sure that she's all, quiet. Well, not quiet in the sense, but that she has a little bit downtime, so she doesn't need to do all the crazy things that we're doing and be more at peace.
Wait,
But
Wait,
yeah,
did you
yeah.
say downtime with the
Yeah, I know.
enough?
I know.
Downtime. That was good. Did you slip
That was
that in?
good.
There we go.
That's
That was
That's
good.
like
I did not think of it. Just happened. So it worked out.
Oh,
It worked out.
old school
Uh,
48 talk right
Yep.
there.
Oh man.
Some as the end of the year special, some of the things that we'll be doing in 48 Talk we'll be doing here, so it carries over. I think that's great. So without further ado,
Let's get into
Maria.
so for the very first category, we have Best Year for Idol, aka which idol this year had the best year, who did really good, and just generally had a good old time despite the old Rona. And I'll start right out with my own answer, which is Sakura Saka's Ozono Rei.
Okay.
And
Okay.
as to why I picked her is because she's one of the newest members, got added just this year, this January, and she has already become one of the most popular members of Sakura Saka. Like, her popularity has skyrocketed. I think it especially like began at the when they were like remote filming the episodes from home, and she really stood out in those. So it's insane seeing her popularity and how good her video calls have sold. So she really did have a good year. Had the debut at the beginning, and now she's real popular. So who should go next?
Just pick someone. I would
Colin, how about you?
Okay. So I found this to be quite a difficult category, but I picked one person for one reason really, and I picked Jane from BNK because she won Sosenkyo. I think if you win Sosenkyo, the way she did, which was by a margin, way more than Chaprong, who is arguably still the most popular member from BNK, and it was by a landslide. I think 30,000 something.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Wow.
Whilst the total voting ballots that went out were limited. I forgot the number, but it's like, there were only like 150 votes available. So she won big time because of her fans who really pushed for her and did. And I think that is just phenomenal. She got to center Heavy Rotation, the most popular AKB song there is. So I think that works out for her. She's always been a rather popular member, but now you can't deny that she is the queen. Sorry,
Exactly.
Chaprong.
Mette?
Yeah, so I wanted to pick Jane because of those reasons. But when I think about it objectively, I think actually my choice is Sita from CGM48.
Oh.
Ooh.
CGM debuted this year, and she was the first center of CGM. She's gotten a lot of attention. She's a fairly popular member in CGM, and she got to rank in the Sosenkyo. She was in Winkwa Sankai, the coupling song, and she got to do the double center with Cunning for Melon Juice. And I think, as for someone who's so new to all of this, that she really made a big impact, and I think she's going to be one of those big idols in the future for both CGM and BNK.
Awesome.
Great pick.
Really big, yeah.
Awesome.
Derek.
Best year for member, yeah?
Yes.
Well, I'd have to say Tani Marika because she didn't graduate. No, just kidding.
That was to be expected.
Yeah, of course. All my categories are Tani related. Spoken like a true Oshaman. I'll somehow work it in. No, just kidding. Well, all my answers are very much in the underground world, so they're gonna be a counterpoint to a lot of the major stuff. Although I do have some commentary about major stuff later in other categories, but just because my whole life this year completely just took a nosedive totally into the underworld, with starting Idol Underworld, like that really put me in a position to work with as many as 45, 46 different idol groups at any given point. And so the working in the major world has been really like a passing thing for me. I mean, really, the only time I even pay attention to the major world anymore is when we, for the purpose of this podcast, when we're talking about stuff. Although that's not to say I don't enjoy some stuff that I've seen come out of it. Also, I work with, people in the major world. One of the guys who writes for NoAKBNoLife wrote,
Yeah.
Miho's for songs. So, I mean, that's all very much part of my background. But I would say best member, best event for a member would probably be Hanako-san of 14th generation of the toilet. The reason why is because she not only put out a photo book with me, but she also I think it was this year. Yeah. But she also put out a new album and Death Day, and she's been on a roll. I mean, she was on national Japanese television a couple times. I mean, sitting right there with Sashihara,
Nice.
going back and forth talking with Sashi and
Oh, man.
and Akiyoshi, who hosted the program. So like, she went from being this girl who has maybe sometimes 7 people at her shows to being so popular now. Like her shows they're pretty packed. And we've retained, I'd say, as close to a friendship as I guess I could have with an idol, without it being a friendship, because I'm not really friends with any of these girls. But
Oh.
like, I've known her a really long time, and she was also a key part of my documentary. Even though she doesn't appear a whole lot in my doc, there is several sections on her in one episode, and she allowed me to film her live, which is extremely rare. She's been real relaxed on it lately, but I mean, there was a long period of time where she wasn't allowing that.
Okay.
So now that the world is like seeing like her craziness, like her banter, like what she does, the food throwing, the spitting everywhere,
Oh, man.
it's gotten her a lot of exposure. And like, even the trailer for my documentary, which is going to be released tonight, actually,
Nice.
you'll see a little snippet of that from her. So she's had a great year. She's outstanding year, better
She
than
does
most.
sound
And
amazing.
she's one of the greatest human beings I've ever met. She's also one of the most psychotic and insane people I've ever met. But she's very much like a cosplayer character type. Like, she really believes she's that ghost. She really sticks to the stuff she does. Like, she likes the color red. Everything in her life is red. Even her bike is red. She's rode her bike to my place to take Checky with me, and I was just laughing because I'm like, wow, even your bike is red. And I'm like, that's not
What
an
a drastic
accident,
thing.
is it? Yeah.
What a drastic thing. A red bike.
Well, it's just
When
not
did
an
you get one of
accident with
those?
her. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's like, it's just weird. It's like an old school red bike too. And so it's just like,
Oh.
she just lives that character, but she's gotten more into it, and she's fascinating. So I couldn't think of a better person to take that pick, because my God, she's just been prolific this year. Unbelievable,
She does.
So
Awesome.
Sounds like a good fit.
Yeah,
And I
exactly.
think
Yeah.
DX still has to talk.
Yeah, I still have to
Yes,
talk.
DX,
Yeah.
what is yours?
Actually, I have split it into 2 subcategories. Actually, I have
Go ahead.
the member that is Jane because she wants a Senkyo. So if you're able to win a Senkyo, it automatically becomes your year basically. That's pretty simple reasoning, but that's how I always viewed it. But I also made a fan category for it. And I would like to give a shout out to Flores because this year he finally got to meet, albeit it was via video call, but he got to meet Katomina.
Yes, he did.
Yes.
Bittersweet, though.
It's
Bittersweet.
bittersweet,
Yeah,
but we'll get
bittersweet.
into that later. But yeah, it's more like it reminded me of my own moment when I got to meet Komi and Takamina, and it was like it was always this nervousness, this anxiety before meeting an
Yeah.
idol you admire so much. It all reminded me of it. I got reminded of it basically, and seeing how happy he was afterwards, it's just like, yep, that's basically how it went for me as well. So, and I just feel like I
But
needed to shout out. Oh, Derek, what's up?
can I comment on that? Is that
Yeah.
we're allowed to comment on each other's stuff,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, okay.
Sure.
'Cause okay.
Sure.
So like, I remember like, meeting Katamina like years ago, and like I used my Checky time to basically talk Flores up to her, and she totally knew him. And like he never forgot that. Even now he's even thanked me for that, like in light of recent events with Katamina. But the thing is like I remember meeting like Mayo Shitani, and I mean she wasn't kamitayo to me. She like almost didn't care that I was even there. Like she signed my CD. It was like a CD signing thing, and it was like, okay, see ya. And I was like, I really love you. Like you're the best. And she was like, really, I'm your best. And like she didn't believe me at all. And then the interesting thing was that I think it was that very same session. Like I had met Sashi, who was actually pretty cool. But the one that surprised me was Sakura-tan. She blew me away. She actually cared about me. She asked me how I was doing. She kept watching me as I left. None of the other girls did that except for Kaotan. But Kaotan doesn't really count because she's like, that's not really a checky session with her. It's or handshake session. It's more like well, whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen.
Yeah, exactly.
She just disregards all the rules, and
doesn't
she
care.
kind of made fun of me in front of everybody. And it was fun though. I'm not complaining, but it was like, I don't know, like Sakura-tan was really like ridiculously amazing for me, and I wasn't ready for that. So I know for Flores to meet Katamina, and it actually went really well according to his reports, everything I read.
Yeah.
That had to be a heck of a moment. I mean, he's waited years for this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So I'm really happy for him.
Yeah, I remember him being so jealous of me because I went to a handshake event in Makaramesse with Komi and Katamina the next day,
Oh, yeah.
basically. And he was like,
Yeah.
what I would do to teleport right now and just knock you out and take your place, basically.
Oh yeah. He was
Right.
so jealous.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh.
But I'm so
Just
happy for the guy.
kidnap you and,
Yeah. Take his identity.
tie you up somewhere, go instead of you.
Yeah, exactly.
Basically.
No, but I was just legit happy for the guy that he finally got to meet her. So I had to put it in, and for me,
It's a good
so
one.
that's why I split it up into member and fan.
Oh yeah.
So
It's not one time he met. He has done multiple ones, and I think he will be doing another one very soon. For as long as it's possible, he will be
Yeah,
doing
exactly.
it. And I think when she is officially graduated, he will still be. I think I've heard him say that she will be doing still, the handshake-ish events, and so probably also video calls. And
Oh,
she
right,
knows
right.
who he is, so it will all be fine. I think it was very
Well,
scary,
I'm-
but
I'm-
it will
The
be
one blessing of Corona. The
Mm.
one blessing of Corona. Video
Yeah, right.
calls.
This.
The
Yeah,
blessing of
that's.
foreign fans.
It's one of the only good things that come out. No, I'm actually gonna see if I can help Flores in that regard. I was actually gonna say, she might end up in my circle somehow because there was actually like an NMB 48 member who started up like a Chica Idol group that Mary Bad End played with earlier this year or last year sometime, and that was real cool. I got to see a lot of like AKB fans there that were like they wouldn't. I mean, the AKB fans tend to come into the Chica world, vice versa. It's just all the same. Half the girls in the Idol world and the Chica world started out because they liked AKB. So it's all relative. But the thing is, it's like if she starts doing like gravure or like anything like where it's like more her own thing, that could put her in my direction because she might. I'm not saying work in the underground, but it'd be more like, for example, like I want to do photo books. I would easily do a photo book with her. And I think I could arrange that to certain degrees with the people I know. I know, like, for example, Mary Bad End's producer Daisuke, he knows her. He knows all those girls. Like he's written songs for NGT. So it's like the thing is that could happen. And I really like her too. Like, so I'm thinking, oh, that would be cool. Because I really want to see him have that chance to come here and do like the line loop because
Oh,
there's
yeah,
no
yeah,
greater joy in my life than to see a fan line loop like a lot of the fans I see do for their Oshis. Like it's the most beautiful, emotionally giving thing I see people do these days, and it really inspires me. And Flores would be a huge one. I know he'd spend everything. I don't even want to think about how much that kid
He'll
would spend
go
on
into
Katamina, but
major
it would be
debt
great.
for it.
Yeah, you go into major debt, yeah.
Yeah,
That's not even
exactly.
Sell his firstborn
Exactly.
son then.
Oh man.
Right.
Maybe not his dog. I wanted to say maybe his dog, but maybe. I'm very split on that one. Maybe.
Yeah, exactly. So next category. What's it?
For Derek, new discovery.
Yeah, so again, going Chica. So this year had, I mean, like it's typical in the idol world. There are tons and tons and tons and tons of idols that come and go that get introduced, and they're like here today, gone today, as my quote goes. But one that really stuck out, and unfortunately they're already on hiatus, but they're coming back. I know that for a fact. But was Informal. Informal, well, they started out, I think, as a 4-piece, then they lost a member pretty fast or whatever. Then they were a 3-piece here for a while. Now I don't really know their status exactly. I mean, I know what's going to happen to them, and I know where they're headed because I talked to their manager, but it took me a long time to scout them and to get them to come join Idol Underworld. But then just as soon as I started, then it like kind of slowed down. I was even their techie staff for a show. But like Informal put out this incredible EP, and these songs, there's one song called Raise a Cry that's on there that was just, I don't know, very emotional. It's post-hardcore without the screaming. It's the members are great. They're great singers. They're interesting looking. Like they're not their one member, Isuna, like she sold out of Czechian Idol Underworld in like 0.9 seconds. I'm talking 20
Wow.
Czechie. And
Wow.
so that stood as a record for a long time until recently. So I don't know, that's pretty amazing. So, you know, they had a lot of momentum. Now they're again, that steam's kind of gone for them for right now, but they're putting out incredible music because their producer is like this guitar player who, you know, he really knows how to write music, and he writes stuff that's very Americanized because he likes all these American post-hardcore bands. So that's right up my alley. So easily for me, the best new discovery of the year. So
Awesome. I'm going next. For me, the discovery I made was a K-pop girl group called Everglow. And
Everglow.
the way I got into them was basically via a dance game called DDR-style dance game called Pump It Up. I discovered their music on the game, and I really enjoyed playing it. And then I decided to just look them up on YouTube, and they had a real good song collection. And I was instantly hooked to like Dun Dun, Adios, and the current single La Di Da as well. And for me, I didn't expect the style of music is quite girl crushy, I would say, and I quite enjoy them actually. I listen to them daily on my Spotify list basically. So for me, that's my personal discovery for the year, and it's all because of a dance game called Pump It Up basically. So
Awesome. That's interesting.
Colin, how about
Oh
you?
yeah. So I picked a rather bittersweet one. I found this to be very difficult. Like last year and the year before that, I had like 2, 3 girls where I'm like, yeah, I got into her a bit more. I didn't have that this year. I mostly because well, the group I focus primarily on is AKB, and I already know everyone. And if I'm not interested in them now, I'm probably not going to be. So the one that I picked, and this has been rather well ironic in the past recent days, it's Yamamoto Ayaka from NMB.
Oh.
Because
Interesting. Why?
since he centered the song, I was like, okay, this is the next gen ace for NMB. Especially considering that NMB had a lot of graduating members this year. Where now that Ion has also graduated, there's Miru. Shibuya Nagisa's there too. But other than that, I don't know anyone else. But I've been guaranteed that there's new blood available, and they're great. But I picked her because since the single and in tandem with everyone else, major players graduating from NMB, I thought this would be her time. And I thought she was really cute. Mainly because the single. I stand by that with the single, even though I didn't love it. I did like it enough, and I was glad that she got to be co-center. There was another center, who Kokuna, I think.
Yeah.
Who may be the other next gen ace. At least that's what I've been told, because I've not really been paying attention to NMB all that much. But I thought her because I was like, she's cute. I think she has that kind of maturity that I like, and that she could be different from Miru, but still be good enough to really push NMB further. But she instead opted to save the world and become a nurse. Because I didn't know that was the reason initially, but that was the reason for graduating. She wanted to
Wow.
be a nurse, and I was like, okay, that's graduating, whatever reason, I always will accept that. But if you pick a better choice, then well, I'm stopping or quitting because I want to be a nurse. I cannot, really argue against that. So
Yeah, exactly.
unfortunate. I just did not really have any other member that I particularly felt strong for. But I don't know, maybe next year. We'll see.
Meta?
Yeah.
Oh.
I can try doing it.
Yeah.
So this is actually kind of a surprise for me because I wasn't expecting to find someone new this year from BNK. I have my favorites. I've had my favorites since I met them. And the second gen came along a while ago and it took a while to get to know them. And then suddenly we got One Take, the new documentary. And I watched that and Fi was in that. And Fi is a second gen member. And she has this year gone from, like, I know her, I think she seems cool, but she's now in my top 5 BNK favorite members. And the reason why is this year she's been so open and honest about who she is, what she wants to do as an idol, as an artist. And I feel like I can relate more to her goal orientedness than other members who maybe haven't found their path yet. And she's such an amazing person, kind hearted, and she's open, she's accepting. She speaks a lot to us international fans.
Oh, nice.
And she's also
Very cool.
she's kind of wacky, I think the right word is. She does a lot of weird stuff. This year she had a IG live that lasted throughout the night where she wanted to know if she was snoring. She asked fans to tell her if she was snoring.
Oh,
That's
man.
awesome.
That's
Figuring
awesome.
it out.
That's the best thing ever. That's so idle.
Yeah. And Fi is just such an amazing human being. She's an amazing idol. And I love that she, in the documentary, decided to go, you know what? People keep telling me being an idol is about doing your best, trying hard, and trying to achieve your dream. So who are you to tell me that my efforts aren't good enough? And that was like, I respect that. And I learned more about her, and she's my discovery of this year for just being such an amazing person.
Amazing.
Amazing. Wow.
Yeah.
Maru.
And she's cute.
That's a given.
That's also
Me-
important.
Important reason.
Exactly.
So for me, I could not for the life of me pick one. So I have like 2 different categories. One is like, the kind of an expected answer. Sakura Saka 46 is Masumoto Kira. She's one of my 2, or she's in the group at the moment. She's crazy. Like, I've seen like reports of what video calls with her are like, and it's like, things will not go according to plan. Most likely you will not get to say what you plan to say. Things will just happen. So she's amazing. She's absolutely stunning. I can't get enough of her pictures. And she has energy to last for days. And then there is the second category of them.
Oh.
The ones that I myself didn't expect to be, and I think most others wouldn't expect me to, get into or like either. And there's actually 2 of them, so I'll be more brief with them.
Ooh.
One is CGM48's Milk, who met her, dragged me. She's a child now. I will marry Serena if needed to adopt her. Like whatever is required, she's my child. And the other one is even more unexpected, is SGO48's Mochi. I watched the series. I watched them and I fell in love with that little rascal. Her style is exactly what I like, so to say. So both Mochi and Milk, they're cute, they're amazing, they are my children. So that's been nice.
That's awesome.
Very cool.
Yeah, indeed.
Great. I love these pics. That was fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you can continue because you're up next with best costume.
Oh, yes. For next, we have best costume, which that's an important category.
Yes.
Yes.
And I think that this year there weren't really that many really standout amazing costumes. Was one, and I think my answer will surprise the viewers, you all, everybody. I really liked MNL48's River's costume.
Oh, cool.
Um,
Very cool.
Because it had like this leather jacket
Yeah.
and the skirt had like a bit of yellow in it and all that, and I just liked everything about it. It was the best part of the song and the music video for me. It's a shame they didn't show it more.
Yeah, you're a bit shocky, so you might want to repeat that. I think you cut out on my end.
I heard you, but go ahead.
No?
I think she's frozen.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh,
That happens.
Yeah, it happens.
Yep, she froze.
She's frozen.
Okay. That's
let's
fine,
come
that's a
back to
funny
her.
picture. Yeah, we'll move on.
We'll move on.
Fortunately, she was done. At least I think that's the impression that I got. DX, you want to continue with best costume?
Yeah, I'll continue. The best costume, I'm not sure if it's best per se, but I really liked the costume, and that was the costume for BNK48's Mama Milk. I really
Okay.
liked that one.
Great
It was so fitting to the song as well, with the horns and such, and it was like, it stuck to me, and I watched the MV a couple of times, and I wasn't sure at first, but after watching the MV for like 2, 3, 4 times, it was like, yeah, I really like this a lot. So that one is for me. So my answer is Mama Milk's costume for BNK48. Colin?
Very cool.
Hi, Maria. Technical difficulty is
Hey.
always a thing with us.
Yeah. Is it even this show if there isn't technical difficulties?
Yeah, that's a good
Oh,
one.
yeah.
Another thing that carried over from 48.
Long-standing tradition with us.
Yep.
Well, I like to continue with best costume because,
Mhm.
well, my pick is the same as the It's Mama Milk's. That shouldn't be that surprising because last episode, well, the episode that we did prior to this, I said how much I love them. So I really couldn't really pick any other costume. I do have a small honorable mention for Team B.
Oh.
Because on Christmas they did the Team B performance, which they haven't done in months, and they had some new costumes for after the first 9 songs or so, where the first 4 songs are everyone, and then there are the smaller groups, and then they came with this really cute but also cool black and white costumes. It was more black than white, as opposed to the previous costumes, which were a bit more mixed. But I really liked them. They were sharp. They were cool. I just really liked them. This last minute addition to the pick. It's more an honorable mention because Mama Milk, for the reasons that DX said. I think it's I just love them. I just love them. I think it's great design. It worked really well with the MV. It's a little bit off, or I should say a little bit out there. But I just love those costumes the most. With the Team B ones being a close second. Because other than that, there were costumes that I really liked, but Mama Milk just blew the rest out of the water,
exactly.
for me, at least.
Exactly. Meta.
So I could have gone Mama Milk as well, but I didn't. Because there's a song that I think most people have forgotten actually came out this year that had, well, in my opinion, the best costumes, and that was Dori Dong at the beginning of the year.
Right.
Those dresses that they used in that MV are gorgeous. It fits with the theme. It's incorporating different styles, and everyone looks amazing in the Dori Dong dresses. And I love the patterns they're using and the color scheme, and also that song is it's an iconic song by now for BNK fans. I think that actually outshines Mama Milk for me, and also stuff like the Hashi the Penguin costumes that came out this year. But yeah, Dodidong, the dresses and costumes, they are gorgeous.
I agree. No, also
awesome.
Good pick.
Yeah, good pick. Really
Agree.
good pick.
Agreed. Again, going the Chica route. I think for me, it was working with Mary Baden's Honami, who makes idol costumes for a lot of idol groups, including Mary Baden and my idols as well. I have to say her entire collection was something that got revealed to me this year that she just blew me away with all the many changes she put Mary Baden through to other idols she's done costumes for. Kankaku Logic, she did their costumes. Kankaku Logic's costumes are they're ridiculously amazing and very very edgy, very cool, very a little bit sexy, in the right kind of idol way, without going over the top. And just overall, just it's amazing to see this young girl put her brain into something so creative like that. Something I couldn't even begin to understand. I don't even know how to fold clothes properly, and so she can put together like whole outfits. And I'm a jeans and t-shirt person, that's it for like my life, but she just thinks of clothing in such a different way. Like when she did Kosame's outfit is like half mental patient, half schoolgirl, and she figured out how to sew a schoolgirl uniform with like a straight jacket and like other things all the way down to the skirt, and it worked. It doesn't look cheesy like I thought it might. Like it looks pretty cool. I don't know. Like she's a brilliant girl. It was good to see all of her costumes in effect this year. So I'd say her entire collection was my favorite for best costume.
Wow, that's
Awesome.
awesome actually.
Great.
Yeah, so wow. Not many
Thank
people
you.
can coordinate clothes as well because
Nope.
like Derek, I'm a t-shirt and a jeans guy as well, and
Yeah,
sneakers.
you always have
sneakers.
been, I remember.
And
I
I
remember.
also like to wear shoes and socks and some underwear. On top of that.
Yeah, basics.
Yeah, the
Basics, yeah.
basics. The basics. Well, what's next on the menu, Colin?
Whoa, wait, well, hold on. Crazy Girl and Matt, what are your guys' like daily style for clothes? I mean, I know because clothing to me is something maybe I'm not trying to sound sexist, but like something I equate with females more, I guess. I don't know, excluding like gay guys who dress very good, because that's not a stereotype. That's like really the truth. But I'm saying like, as girls, do you guys have styles that you guys go for every day? I guess one or both of you could start or whatever.
Oh, I basically never wear dresses or skirts, and it's not
Oh,
because I
really?
don't
Cool.
like them, but just dresses I think fit better for formal occasions, and because I live in the countryside as well, I'm not used to moving all proper that a dress needs, not just bending down willy-nilly.
Yeah,
Sure,
makes sense.
sure.
So
Makes
yeah,
sense.
so I'm not really used to that. So usually with jeans, the most important thing is pockets. The more pockets, the better.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
if I'm buying jeans, I straight up am like, where are the pockets? If there's no pockets, I'm not buying them. If
Yep.
there's more than two, best things ever. And as for the rest of it, shirts, those are mostly stolen from my brothers. So so usually I have a few Totoro shirts and a few band t-shirts, and then just generally anything, usually black shirts though, with like pictures.
Cool. There
Yeah.
you go. That's metal.
Awesome.
Sweet. Very cool. Matt?
Matt.
So I worked in the public sector before I started studying again, so I had to change my style rather drastically to be, normal enough for the public. So I'm usually in stuff like this, in blues and reds and jeans. I do like wearing dresses, and I can easily wear a dress in the summer, but that requires it needs to be a dress that works with stuff like this, like having a cardigan over.
Oh, right.
Sense. Yep.
But I
Well-
think now that I'm a student again, I can do more nerdy t-shirts again.
Wait, I have a question. Have you had to wear like business suits before, like for working with the public? Like kind of like men's style business suits.
No, thankfully I haven't. So I was a librarian, and we were like, if you wear a cardigan and you wear like as a basic colored shirt or a blouse, then you're good for life.
Oh, wow.
And then sneakers.
Oh, nice, very cool.
I try not to stand out so much in the clothes, especially since I'm a fairly laid back person. I don't like getting a lot of attention. So just basic colors, and then recently I've started wearing my B&K t-shirts again and my CGM t-shirts
Oh, nice.
and Harry Potter, Doctor Who, just going back to all the fun nerdy stuff.
Oh, but
There
you
you
remind me
go.
talking about librarians and outfits though. In
Mhm.
my hometown, in the library, there works this one old lady who is absolutely wonderful. Everybody loves her. Who has the most eccentric clothes? I'm
Oh.
convinced she either like sews them themselves or has like a seamstress do them, because I do not know where she gets them. They are colorful. They are like something you could get out of a children's book, I imagine,
What?
and
Wow.
it's just wonderful. It's such a mismatch of colors and styles. Oh, it's amazing.
You
I
kind of
love
get
it.
like
Yeah.
either or.
Right.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. I love it. That's awesome. Very
Wow.
cool.
So, it's my turn for the next category, for the
Yay.
worst costume. We're getting there. We're almost halfway. So I picked one. The first thing that came to mind. I didn't really think much of it. I was like, okay, yeah, this has the one. This is the first one. It's the costumes for Shitsuren Arigato.
Yeah.
I even pointed out that there were two things, but one major thing, what I didn't like about that MV, which I really liked, it was a song that I liked, but I won't mention it again because it didn't quite win. But I really liked it. But the costumes, I didn't like the color. I didn't think it fit the MV itself. It was too bland, more beige color. Which, if it works, it works. But I just didn't fit with the colorful, nice MV from Shitsuren Arigato. I really didn't like him. The first thing, when I saw it for the first time in the MV, I was like, ugh, the costume's not really a great color. If it was like yellow or a brighter, or maybe even pastel color, it would have been better. But it was just, nah, I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. So that's my pick. DX, you want to go second?
Yeah, sure. For me, I don't really have a worse costume, to be quite honest. For me, it's more like the costumes were too bland, but in my opinion, bland doesn't necessarily mean it's bad or worse. So it's more
That's true.
like
That's true.
for most of the costumes of this year's from the 48 group were rather bland. It wasn't that standout or spectacular. They were just there. They were just okay, not bad per se. So for me, I don't really have a choice or a pick for worst costume. If I were to pick, it's basically all of them because they were so bland for me personally. So
It works. It wasn't that great of a selection, I think. But
exactly.
that's kind of that's 2020. Not that great of a collection
Yeah.
with everything, but that makes
Right.
it challenging, I think, and I think that's good. It gives you more time to think. That's it. Do you want to go?
Yeah, I have the same as you. It's not like I think it's horrible or anything. It's just I want an AKB costume to be fun, to be memorable, and to stand out. And I didn't think it did any services to the girls who were wearing the costumes. And they're gonna be forgettable. It's not gonna be a costume that they are gonna send around for like costume museums
no.
for AKB.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. That's a great argumentation for it. Derek, do you have a pick?
Well, two things. One, DX, you are okay? You okay? Your voice sounds like you're messed up. You all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. It's just a bit of a cold, that's all.
Ooh.
Yeah, I sound like it, man. I hope you feel better. Boy, we'll get two of our guys, our members here are all messed up, man. I feel incredibly lucky. Well, I'm not. I actually busted my finger. I think I broke it actually.
Oh, what the?
Today. Like I've never broken a bone, but it sure feels like it. I was running up the escalator because I was trying. I had to meet somebody, and I was running late as usual, and I fell. And I tried to stop myself from going face first into the escalator because then this would be broke.
Ooh.
And my finger was the only thing that went down. And now it's like this. So it's just, I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah. And I didn't have time to go to I couldn't go to the hospital because I had to work 2 jobs. So it's like I basically bandaged it up. So, man, we're all messed up. Colin's the only one that's getting lucky here, buddy. Thank you.
His mic is messed up though.
Mike's messed up. Yeah.
Yes, that's the only thing.
There you go.
On the
Well, but
most
that's like
fucking-
normal. That's normal for you. Two, I'd say in regards to the bland comment, I think really it's up to the idol to make that costume shine even more. Like I've seen idols with
Yeah.
amazing costumes and they're terrible. And so you don't think, oh, that's a great costume. You think, boy, that idol sucks. Like maybe you don't say that out loud, but you think it, you know? It's you're just like, ugh. I mean, no offense, but there's some K-pop stars that I think are just ridiculously gorgeous in their costumes. Not so ridiculously good with the music and the performance,
Yeah.
but costume-wise, they crush it. But then again, K-pop's almost not even fair. Those girls are genetically modified freaks of nature,
Yeah,
so
basically.
perfect looking. So I mean, they're ridiculously toned. So it's like you can put them in anything, they're gonna look good. But with the bland, that's also true for an idol with great character. Like if you put Dasu from SK48 and like you could put her in a potato sack and you'd still think she looks great because
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
true.
Dasu. Like she'd make it work. And
This
I've seen. Go ahead, please. Go ahead.
this reminds me of like what was said about Marilyn Monroe. It was like at one point somebody told her like, "Oh, you only look good because you always have these pretty outfits," and as a response to that, she did
Oh,
a
yeah.
photo shoot wearing a potato sack. So
Oh, yeah.
like that's exactly what you said. It's like it's not just about the costume. Like the right person can make anything look good.
That's
Yeah.
true. I agree.
Absolutely.
true.
So that being said, my story has nothing to do with any of that. I just thought I'd comment. So sorry. So okay. So I have been massively like there's certain idols that I've met or I know, not many, a handful that have impacted me deeply to the point where like I still feel like I'm Oshiing them even though I'm a staff person. One of them is this girl named Chirin, and she was the leader for the group Kochasta, who I've spoken about Kochasta before many times. You know, Kochasta a couple years ago was like the underground live group. If you knew who they were, to go watch, and their Takey Cohen, which is their monthly show they would do, it was like the place to be because you never knew what you're gonna see. The fans were crazy. They did crazy. And that's the group that had the fan that like wiped the air conditioner in the middle of a show, you know, after being lifted on somebody's shoulders, like and made everybody laugh. I mean,
Oh,
it's
wow.
just you never knew. But Sheridan was the focus for me. She was their leader. She always wore really good clothing that accentuated her body. She's very toned, like she's like almost like a six pack. But she's just beautiful and she's super friendly. She also tried to fish me even when she knew I was staff. Like I was at a show, me and my friend would always go see them because he was a big cheering in Oshi as well, still is. And he was doing checky with her, and I was just waiting for him to be done so we can go out and get dinner afterwards. And she came over to me, and this is the first time she ever met me, and she's like, "Who are you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, blah blah blah. I work for this idol group." And she's like, "That's okay. Come do a checky with me." I'm like, I can't." She's like, "Yeah, you can. Come on." So she was like literally trying to get me to go do a checky when I couldn't do that, which I never forgot that. So then, like, I've known her for a while now. She joined after Kochasa disbanded. She joined this group called Senkyoku, and Senkyoku is like a pretty decently sized big group. Like they have a ton of members, almost like AKB, how many members they got, with like a small team. And she went from being the leader of Kochasa to like a backup member in this group, which really sucked because she's not a backup. She's a leader. But the thing is, when she initially joined, Senkyoko had these like loose kimonos, open or yokata, open kimono yokatas. So they had that like a halter top or like a sports bra thing going on. So like it was very erotic, very sexual without being overt because that's
Oh, wow.
always the best kind of idol costume is when you can accentuate your good parts but not be overt about it because then it feels weird. But Chirin's so beautiful that when she wore that, I was like, oh my god, like you went somehow from being a goddess to ultra mega goddess. Like I don't even know that was possible. She leveled up in her goddess status. And then out of the blue, Senkyoku decided to like basically cover her and get rid of all of that. And like their new outfits, I'm just like, why? Why would you do that when you have most of the girls in the group have assets that you kind of want to show off because it's kind of part of your whole thing, And it's good like the way you do it. I mean, like when you have a girl who has like a six pack like she does, why not show that off? Because it's rare, at least in the idol world, it's not as many girls as you think they're that tone. And so they just basically got rid of that for the most part. And I was just like, Well, that's a mistake.
Yep.
So I would say not worst costume, because worst feels too mean for me to say about any group now, but especially because I'm idol staff. But I would say that was a big disappointment for me personally, because I thoroughly enjoyed watching Chianan dance and sing. Which, by the way, she's incredible at both. It's not just her physical features. She's the overall idol package, really, truly. But yeah, now I go watch her occasionally, and it's like I gotta do a photo book with this girl. I gotta get her back out of those clothes, and she's okay with that. Like, she does gravure on the side. Like if you go to her Twitter, it's all gravure. Like, she has a very nice career doing like gravure shots apart from Senkyoku. So she's very comfortable with her sexuality, which is good. But it's like, it's weird because when you talk to her, she's super shy and like she's not self-confident. But then she does that.
Of
So I'm
course,
like,
yeah.
well, which are you? Like, you're not self-confident, but you're practically butt naked in all these shots. So you must be somewhat confident, I would think. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. That being aside, the costumes for Senkyoku, not quite feeling them this year. I hope they go back to what they had before, because I didn't see a reason to change. That's just me. Go look them up if you guys don't know what I'm talking about. They're easy to find on Twitter. The end. Okay. Sorry.
Great. No, it was great. Well, it was just great.
Yeah.
I can't say anything else about it. Great story. That made it all.
Thank you.
That made it sense. It made sense. If you just said that last part of it and just was like, "This is what I don't like about it," it would have made you gave a better context. Let me put it that way.
Yeah, I try to give context.
That's
Always.
good. It's always works best. Says the guy that tends to over-explain things. I do it. But okay, Maria, your turn.
So, Sakura Saka, what are they doing?
Uh,
They have so many outfits I absolutely despise. First off, they're nobody's fault costume. Oh my god, I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. It's like
Uh-huh.
it's weirdly shaped. It's too long. It's too white, even though the bottom is pink. That's the one part of it I like. It's the top part is weird. The waist part is weird. It's just weird. There are so few shots where it looks all right. It looks awful. And then there is their costume or outfit they wear for the variety show, Sakasaku, which is even worse. It's even worse. They have this oversized blazer there, which is just, what are you doing? And those shoes, I know they're like really expensive shoes that look like that have like kind of toes are kind of separated like into two parts. Like, I know they're really expensive, but I hate them, and I hate the jacket. And I've seen what the outfit looks like without the jacket, and it looks kind of almost all right, but it's awful. I hate it. I hate everything about it.
Wow.
And then there is the buddy's outfit, which is also goddamn awful. It doesn't fit the song. It's grey. It's just, what are you doing? The skirt doesn't suit it. It looks like something like winter you'd wear outside when it's snowing. And that's not good looking. That's practical, but not good looking. Just, oh my god, what are you doing? What are you doing,
costume
management?
designer.
Yeah, like, altogether, Sakura Saka has had precisely one outfit I don't hate, which is also from my favorite song, Nasekoi, and I'm so thankful for that,
Oh.
you know.
It's not good,
What's-
but she does hate it.
But the others are just like, god damn it, I want to burn those outfits. I'm not even kidding. I want to burn them. They are so
Burn 'em.
bad. And there's so many of them.
Well, maybe next time. Hopefully.
Perhaps with the
New
next
year.
single.
Get rid of the costume designer. So
Somewhere
that
with
was
some,
it.
yeah, somewhere with cement overshoes or something like that.
Yeah, probably. Sorry. Yeah, no, I agree. Maria, you can continue, because I was like, you know what? You can do the next one too for best performance.
Yay! And, well, I think for this one, what do y'all think? Who is going to be the star of my answer? Is there even really a choice?
Right, I'm rather confident that you're going to pick some Sakura Saka.
Well, almost correct. It's Kayaki Saka.
Oh, interesting.
Close enough.
Yeah, and it's their last live. And if I
Yep.
go more specific, it's their Goroi Hitsuji performance. but like the whole 2 days of their last live was incredible. They went all out on it. Like, it's the best online concert I've seen in J-pop and in K-pop, like, period. Like, I have not seen anybody do an online concert better than them. Like, all the space is utilized, and the girls were also really emotional, and they did put everything into it. Like, from the last time, there were so many iconic performances. I was, like, between. Like, there was, of course, Kurai Hitsuji, about which I think it was Ben-chan or maybe Kira-chan, I can't remember who it was who said it, but Yuipon was actually at the center in it, and they said, like, I was scared she was going to disappear after that song. Like, performing it like felt almost scary because she really did feel like she's gonna disappear after this. Like, something is going wrong, and the atmosphere of the song's perfect. And some other performances. There was Fukyo on,
Yep.
and I think Yuka might have outdone her Boku wa Yada scream.
Yep.
I think she even outdid Techi with that scream. It was heartbreaking and incredible. There was also Momori Ekaerka, where they had Uemurarina like lifted above the others, and it was just... She was flying, and she was being an actual fairy, and there was greenish fog everywhere, and it just looked so magical. They did everything right with that last live. I have zero complaints about it, to be honest.
Awesome.
Like, everything was done perfectly.
Good ending.
Really good, yeah.
Very cool.
Wow.
They went out with a bang.
That's always good.
Exactly.
A
Yeah.
good ending for them. That's good.
That's a given. Well, mine is about the same as Maria. I really loved the Keyakisaka last live. It was more like the end of an era for me, in a way, I would say. So it was more like, wow. This is the first time I saw a group basically transform from Keiya to Sakurasaka, basically. It's basically Keiya was done and it evolved to Sakurasaka, and it's the first time I saw it, actually. I don't think I've any of the 48 groups. I'm not discounting like SDN and such because those were basically before my time. But ever since I joined, it's the first time I saw a 48 group slash 46 group basically disband and evolve into a new group, basically. So that was, and then to watch the last live with all the passion and such, and especially with Fukiya on with the book Rayada, was more like, you can really feel this is the end for Keiya, and something new is going to appear to replace it, basically. But I still will always have fond memory of Keiya. Can't help it. I really can't help it.
I would also like to almost say that with it, it's like what the emotions that define Geyaki, that is Geyaki, they are really angsty, painful and all that. So I'd say the emotions of the rebrand really, as bad as it's really added to Geyaki, and it really was the climax of
Yeah,
the group,
exactly.
even. I would say it was like everything that made all the emotions that made Geyaki gathered inside the members, and they put it all out there.
Very cool.
Nice.
Very, very, very cool.
Who wants next? Who wants to go next?
Oh yeah, Colin maybe. Wanna go?
Your
so,
mic.
best performance.
Ah, yeah.
It was a little bit tricky. I can do it. If I cut out, I cut out. I think it's just the chord. I'll try to work around it eventually. There's nothing I can do about it, unfortunately. But for best performance, I picked Subunit Gratz, which had Mayoshi Yukurin in it, but also Omori, Miyu, Tomu, Kashiwaki Yuki. They announced the subunits for AKB in January during
Yep.
request.
And then he completely froze.
There he goes again.
And there he goes.
Of course.
Somewhere
Of
out
course.
there.
Come
Yeah,
on.
we're gonna do subunits and we'll see
There we go.
groups. Only 2-3 groups got to do something from the amount of the ones, I think 7 that they announced during request hour. But then Corona happened, and it's like, oh no, none of the other groups get a chance. So when finally, after months from January, the groups got to do a performance, and I was very happy with it. I like the songs, I like the concept enough. It's basically they're like, we also game. That's the thing. It's not the most interesting thing, but I liked it enough. It worked for me. It had some fun songs. I liked the members. So the one time that they did, it was the end of November, I think, 29th, I think. They did a performance. I loved it. It took 10 months, 9 months to 10 months to perform for them, and I am very happy to have finally seen it. So I picked Gratz. They did a great job.
Awesome. Who wants to go next?
But I can go next.
Go for it.
So I had a lot of trouble deciding what I wanted to pick because this year has, well, there haven't been a ton of performances, and I wanted to go for something big, so I ended up being stuck between two, and it was the first day for the theater performances for BNK when we got the new stages. It happened on the same day, so I'm counting them as one since there was a break in between, and that was so much fun, even with the technical difficulties and the people outside the theater couldn't see Theater no Megami right away. It was still just so fun to see the members just giving it their all. Those are so much fun songs to do in a theater in front of fans, and you could see they had been working really hard to get everything in place, and there were new costumes for songs, and even just seeing members like Tawan getting a solo song and seeing her getting the recognition she deserves as a captain for the team, it was just amazing. And even going back and watching it again is still just, it blows me away to see how much hard work was on display there. But I also wanted to highlight the one where we got to see heavy rotation for the first time.
Oh
Because
yeah.
that was the one where everyone, for the first time since the lockdown, got to be on stage and receive their trophy. So CGM was there as well, and they got to show us the costume. It was full live performances, and they even had a theme of like a fairy tale wonderland where you traveled between the lands to see the new songs. And the theme was fun, the songs are fun, seeing everyone in costume on stage together, both BNK and CGM, those are some of the best moments of the year, even with technical difficulties.
Very cool.
Oh wow, that's actually awesome to hear. Yeah. Wow.
So,
Wish I could have been there.
So who do we have left? Derek?
Yep.
Yeah, I'd really think this one was probably the hardest for me because there's so many good performances I witnessed here in Japan, and in the idol world that most recently not as much because like the idol world has gotten back in full swing with performances every day, but they're just not the same. Like you can't mix, you can't lift.
Yeah.
Not every venue adheres to that, but most venues do. And then the whole online Haishin, they're called Haishin lives, the online streams, the Haishin were like a big shock to me to see an empty room with idol groups that could sell out those rooms easily. And I don't know, just it took a lot of the fun out of idol for me. But there was a moment when the pandemic like really started to grip the world, and Japan went on like a major lockdown for the very first time, and no shows, like all shows basically canceled. And like there was nothing for like I want to say a whole month and a half. That was bizarre. You're going from over 40, 50, sometimes as many 100 shows a day to nothing. And my whole livelihood gone. And so what do? And then my girls in Hisatsui Momomomo 7, they basically Kyoto-san, the producer, was like, yeah, screw this, like it's enough's enough. And he was like, yeah, this is risky and it's probably not the right thing to do, but we don't care. Like we got to do something for the fans. We got to cheer the fans up. And so with very stringent measures put in place even to get into the Akiba colors, which is like Imomomo's home venue. A lot of idol groups have like home venues they play at here, and they'll play there constantly. Like I was thinking, okay, what's this gonna be like? I showed up, there's 100 people, maybe 120 people packed in there. It can hold 80, and so I'm talking you couldn't even move. And then in front of the stage, they had this like gigantic like plastic over it, and then they had like police tape
Oh wow.
everywhere.
Oh.
And
Oh, wow.
then the fans were like all dressed with their masks on. Some had double masks. One guy had a whole bodysuit with
A
like
hazmat.
a chemical
hazmat, yeah.
hazmat suit.
Oh wow.
Typical emo momo fan behavior, because they're all crazy. And I'm thinking, oh boy, this is gonna be interesting. Soon as the girls came out of the backstage and they ran on that stage, and again, the stage is very, I don't even call it a stage. It's just a little bit of a raised platform area with like a very flimsy like set of bars
Yeah.
separating them from the fans, and everybody jumps on those bars. The girls, they'll get on the top, and then the people will. And the thing is, the ceiling in Akiba Colors, if you jumped up, you can touch it.
Oh
So
Jesus.
you Netherland folk might bump your heads pretty easily
Yeah.
because you're all giants over there.
Probably.
One big surprise, like Maria, when I met like all the Netherland folk, they were so tall and massive. I thought I was like in some fairy tale or something. I was like, what?
Oh,
Where am I? Like, it's like there's a bunch of jacks and beanstalks.
Oh, it's
So, anyways, and I mean that with all love to you guys. I'm very jealous. Anyways, so like it's just very tiny in there. Okay, there's. I'm thinking, oh my god, what's gonna happen? But when the girls came on the stage, like it just like ripped all the police tape off, ripped everything and threw it. They were just like
Oh.
in the crowd, like the whole time. It was pandemonium. There were so many people getting lifted, hitting the ceiling, crowd surfing, almost getting like one guy even like fell on the stage.
Oh wow.
Like it was just like
Oh.
it was just this mashing of insanity, because all of this like pent up idle energy for like a month and a half needed to get let out by every single fan in the audience. So it wasn't just your normal idol show where you have like 5 or 10 dudes and girls going crazy. It was 100 people screaming at the top of their lungs every single word to every single song, mixing, dancing, and then again, Imomo for Yandere Revolution, they'll go in the crowd and they'll make the crowd do all kinds of crazy things and on the middle section, and it's like they've come up with so many creative things and creative like things now with COVID's rules really taking effect. So anytime they play other venues, they can't go in the crowd. It's like prohibited. So they'll make the fans do funny things like do sit-ups or like I don't know. It's just weird. But normally they'll go in the crowd. They'll grab you. Like if you're standing on the side, you ain't gonna stand there very long. They'll come over. They'll grab you. They'll pull you in the middle. They even got Miho. Like Miho went to watch them one time and as like support because she's really good friends with them. And Minase, like my kind of Oshi in the group, like she took Miho and brought her in the middle, and so like Miho was like dancing with all the fans, and all the fans are getting a kick out of that. But it was this moment where like there's this one part in that song where like this middle part, it's like 4 successions, and each succession they'll have the fans do something in this one part where it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's like this real heavy like dun 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 dun. It's like real metal, and then it's like one time they'll make the fans go left to right in the room, and they'll go front to back, like front to the stage to the back. So you have 100 people going way back, and there's like nobody except for 2 of the girls out of the group like standing on the stage screaming while the other 5 are in the crowd. And then when they did the left to right, I'm on the side. Like all the staff usually stands on the side, right? Where there's like the PA here, tiny little PA, and there's like the staff, and there's like a table. And they came and they knocked that table into me. I went flying backwards.
Oh wow.
It was such a release. I had tears in my eyes. It was just like, oh my god, like everybody was like emotional. The hazmat guy was getting thrown around. It was insanity. So that probably had to be the best performance I've ever seen from a group, maybe in years. I mean, it was just like the carefull Architect always used to do like really good performances, which is mostly because of Aku. Because Aku, their leader, is like who's like my Kami Oshi. Like she just knew how to handle the crowd and like just did things nobody ever did. Slap me in the face and just weird stuff. But like this was just that you had to be there. It was only that show. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like it was like emo was their lives tend to be pretty nuts because their fans are insane. But like it wasn't just their fans. It was every single person that walked in there let it out. Like that's idol to me. And everybody was cool. There was a community. Everybody's making sure everybody's all right. If your mask fell off, I even saw one guy make sure the guy got his mask, put it back on. Like wear your mask. Like and then the funny thing was too, the girls had spray bottles with alcohol, like rubbing alcohol, and they were spraying it at everybody to like and their faces and in their hands to make them wash. Like every time the show, like so they were like a couple of the girls were getting on the balcony or like the railing thing, and they were like just squirting like mad at all the fans. And the fans, it was like mists of alcohol just coming at you, and like everybody was just getting all clean and laughing, and it was absolute insanity. So
Oh, gee, wow.
you just
Now
you
I'm
can't
jealous.
beat that, you know. Yeah. So definitely best performance of the year.
Nice.
Awesome.
Okay. Do we have
That's
anybody
everything.
left?
No, I
I
think that
think-
was it for that category.
No.
Yeah.
It's
that's
the
it.
next one. Worst song. That's Derek.
Yes. So worst song. I'm gonna keep this one short because I don't know if I would say worst. There wasn't
Yeah.
a particular song per se. I mean, for a brief moment there kind of was, but I kind of dismissed that thought in my head. And mainly, I'm gonna just say, generally, the overall production of the major idol groups in all areas kind of let me down.
Yeah.
Let me down because in the past, years when like AKB was at their peak, for example, they were crushing it. Every song they had like 30, 40 something songs in a row that were like insta classics, instantly you hear them, you love them. And the Koisero Fortune Cookie, easily one of the greatest songs ever written. Heavy Rotation, one of the greatest songs ever written, as far as idol goes, of course. And then, it's been a gradual decline with less and less more interesting things happening on the major level. Occasionally we get these B-sides that really stand out, which we've talked about, we're like, oh, pleasant surprise there.
Yeah, exactly.
But overall, where we've come to expect the Fukyuans and the Koisero Fortune Cookies from these groups, they just, in my opinion, they have not delivered. And this year was like the final nail in the coffin on that sense. And again, I realize why, because on the back end now, working with some of these guys that work in these major idol fields, they don't write with their hearts. They write because they're given a contract to write a song. And so they'll sit there in front of a computer and try to come up with part A, part B, bridge, done. Okay, cool. And occasionally you'll luck out and you'll get somebody to be half, like 2% creative for that moment and put something a little unexpected in there. But 99% of the time, they're following a specific formula and they never deviate. And for that reason, everything has just been bland because literally AKB doesn't hire like one artist to write their songs and say, look, artist, here's your stuff. Right. Like if you ever listen to Perfume, that's Yasutaka Nakata.
Yeah.
That's his baby. Nobody has ever written a Perfume song except for Yasutaka. Now, some of those songs aren't the best songs, but it's him. You can tell it's his signature. There's always something in every single song they've ever released you can kind of like. And some of those songs are they're God tier. Like you can't touch them. So you don't have somebody like that writing for any of these groups anymore. They did for a while. Like back in the golden days, I think they had like one or two people basically. Like they had these teams writing them. And there was like a husband and wife team that wrote, I think, Koisero Fortune Cookie or something like that. And it's just like you can tell they really thought about that. And they were given a license to say, go, write us something like this. Now they give you these contracts. Like I've seen these guys. They'll get like 4 songs they have to write for all 4, like NGT, Nogizaka, Keikizaka. And they're just basically just punching in. It's literally that that's as much thought that goes into it.
Paycheck.
And so that's where we're at now. So it's kind of let me down. Colin, why don't you go next?
Worst song. So, last episode I briefly said something about the groups and how many songs they had released. And then when I was picking for worst song, I realized I completely forgot. My pick is the only song HKT released, 3 minus 2. Not sure how they say it, but I picked that one because I said in the last episode that I said HKT didn't do a thing this year. They did. I completely forgot about it. I knew AKB did, SKE, NMB, 2 songs that they did, even NGT, Stu, but HKT, nothing in my memory. Even though I wrote stuff down, I looked at my old notes, and I was like, oh yeah, we talked about this. So it's not the worst. It's just I 100% forgot about it. And if I 100% forgot about it, despite me writing it down, which is really a key thing for me to remember stuff, I will actually remember writing something down on what day, what the time of day was, what kind of mood I was in, but nothing about this. I was like, nothing. And when I watched the MV again, I was like, yeah, of course, there's nothing really in it that I liked. So it's not really the worst song in terms
just
of
bland.
it's bad, just forgettable.
Yeah.
I still can't remember a thing. The only thing that I do know is that the center was someone I didn't know. That's weird. I remember not remembering. I find that also a little bit weird. But that's the song. I just didn't remember a thing about it, so that's why I picked it.
Gotcha. No, for me, I've actually got the same sentiment. Not necessarily with HKT in general, but with all the Japanese-based 48 groups. All the songs are so forgettable. They're just there, barely passable. It's more like I don't have a strong emotional connection to it. Not like, for instance, an Uza or a River, or even in the old days, like a Heavy Rotation, or Boku Tachi wa Tatakamanai. Those type of songs, I really miss them. I really wish those type of songs returned, but everything they've released this past year was basically bland and forgettable. It was more like I forgot they were even existing at some point. It's more like the attraction wasn't there. The passion was there was no passion in the song itself. It's more like cookie cutter, A B, copy paste, done, and you got your main releases basically. So it's more
Basically,
like
yeah.
no, it's forgettable.
Interject for a moment. Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry, I wanted to interject a thing. I just realized when you said it. Also, because of Corona, they have not really been performing on TV or whatever. So you forget the songs after they've been released on the MV because they're not really performing the songs. AKB has been doing, always does Corsair Fortune Cookie when they had a rare performance this year, and they would do that song. But I think either recently or they will be doing performance, and a set list was revealed, so it may have been already done. I forgot, but it was Shitsuru and Arigato, and it's like, oh yeah, they have not really performed that song ever. Maybe on stage, I can't really remember. But it's like they have not had the time, so it's not. Even though we would always talk about like when there was a live performance or whatever, but now it's like, nah, they didn't have it, so it feels more forgettable in that sense.
But
Yeah,
I'll
true.
interject here, like, this isn't fully on Corona either. This is, I would say, on AKB and the management as well. Because, well, Geaki managed to have all together. They had their, like, online live, then they had another online live, which was sponsored, I think. And then they had their last live, which is all together 3 concerts. Which, is 3 more than AKB had had.
Yeah.
So
That's also a good reason, yeah. That was it.
Oh, okay.
yeah, I think I'll continue, and I'm in the same line of thoughts as the previous ones, but I have a specific song, Shitsuren Arigato, because the only thing I remember from that song is that bland pinkish color that everything was. Like, if I think of the song, that is everything I remember, and I don't like that color. So it's like I can't remember much of anything, and the one thing I can remember isn't a good thing. So that's my pick, and like everybody has already said my reasons. It's forgettable. I don't remember anything about it. I don't care to remember anything about it. So what more is there to say? I'd say that's even worse than being straight up bad, like to the point you remember it. Because at least then you remember it. You remember the
Yeah.
name, and that's better than not remembering. Any
Yeah.
attention is to a point good attention.
That's true.
Fair, very fair.
That's true. Who's still left?
Yeah. I was gonna say Shitsuren Arigato as well,
Ah.
but the more I think about it, I don't actually think I can name any song as the single worst song this year, because most of the songs have just either gone like straight out of my head and I've never thought about them again, or they've just been disappointing to what set of expectations I had to the song. So I think I'm gonna go for maybe the boring answer and not so diplomatic, but I don't think I have a actual this song I hate or something like that yet. None
Nothing
of
stood
them
out
made.
basically, yeah.
Yeah, I think because even I forgot about 3-2 as well, but I didn't dislike it. I just didn't. It didn't make a big enough impression for me to hate it, dislike it, or even like it or love it. I didn't even remember that STU had released something this year. I think I haven't noticed that they're gonna release something next year or something.
Yeah. Ski will an STU I think too. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
I'm
so.
half sure. Half sure.
Yeah. So and even the NMB songs this year, I know they've been good, but they haven't been great or horrible. So I feel like it's kind of I don't feel I have the stem or the ground to say this is the absolute worst of all the choices I have available.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
Okay.
that really makes sense.
Was that everyone?
I think so.
I think. Okay, so I asked because next is for me a song. So there have been a few songs released, but the one song that I picked technically sorta did release this year.
Huh?
It is actually SKE's 26th single, Dasu centered, Soyutoku Arune. The MV was released last year, technically,
But the
in
song?
2019,
Yeah,
just
okay.
before the end of the year. But the CD was released this year, so it counts. I think it counts because other than that, I
Technicalities at
had
this
not
point.
really. No, exactly, because I did not really have another song that I liked. I don't think it's particularly great, but if you asked me yesterday to hum this song, I could. Actually, the only other one that I could hum is Shitsu and Arigato, because that's I actually consider that song because I kind of like that one, mainly because it's AKB and that I put it on my playlist, as I did with the SKE single. But I rotate, the songs, and then I rather would listen to #Sukinanda right away if I'm
Oh yeah,
on the road,
definitely. Same here.
because most of the time I listen to the music while I'm on the road. But I picked this song because I liked it. It was a bit different from what I would usually like. At least that's what I think. Maybe that's weird. If I were a split personality, I'm going somewhere. I try.
Hey.
Okay.
If I were split personality, but still the same person,
Huh?
but still different.
That's not how it works.
Okay, a hive mind. Okay, I'm a hive mind. I know myself, but I also don't know which choice I will make. If I were to pick the SKE one or Shitsu and Arigato, I would probably go with Soyutoku Arune because it's a bit different from what I would usually go into. At least that's my thought. Really weird answer, I know. But it's like that one seemed to make sense for me to pick because it would be a bit different. I do like Shitsu and Arigato, but it feels a bit regular. But it's I also liked it because the previous AKB singles I didn't really like. I prefer that. I prefer Shitsu and Arigato over Sustainable. I don't like that song in particular, even though I would say it's better. But Soyutoku Arune, I liked it. Dasu, great, fantastic. She did a great job. I liked the look of the MV enough. It was something else. It had a good beat. That's the reason. So, Derek, what have you picked?
This one actually, now that I think about it, is actually a lot harder because I there was just so many songs that I liked that from this year. Hisatsuya Momomo's CD finally came out, non-hit besto, where it was a collection of all their songs. You're gonna hear them perform live, but the thing is, those songs were written a while ago, so I don't know if that technically counts. Um, this one was really hard because there's just literally so many there's just so many things like I could pick. It's hard to pick one. I mean, Lily Kaona came out like a great album. One of the songs I've been really listening to a lot that's been kind of like on like a lot of permanent rotation for me. There's two actually. One is Ultimate Gorilla Bomber by the group Miscast. Miscast is a real heavy idol group with like screaming and singing, and they do Vocaloid processing. It's a lot of craziness, but it was written by Daiki, who wrote a lot of the Guso Drop songs. The Guso Drops is the group that got me into Idol, the Chica World. So it's very typical Daiki. I'm a big fan of his, even though he's kind of a scary guy, and I've never really spoken a whole lot with him because he's really intimidating. But like his music's great, and Ultimate Gorilla Bomber. There's a part in that song where it's like it's so crazy, and then like it's building to something, and then right when it builds it stops, and one of the girls is like does this, and it does some kind of she says something I can't repeat, but she says it in a real kawaii cute way. She's like F you, and then all of a sudden
Oh,
it
wow.
like breaks into this like heavy like don 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 don, and it's just so amazing. And it's also amazing to watch the girls their dance in that moment. And then there's also a part like where the girls do this, they're like doing this like with their arms like they're tough like this, and it's just such a cool awesome little vibe that they got going on, and all their songs have that. Imomomo's definitely put out a lot of songs like that too, where every song has a hook, a catch, something weird, something you just don't expect. That being said, really the song that kind of comes to my mind is Zenbu Kimi no Sera, which is the song where during my Seitansai live, I joined Iwomo on stage and had a beer drink off with one of the girls. Because during the middle of the song, normally the girls will do like a food thing competition where two of the girls will just try to eat some food, or occasionally they'll do a drink off. One time they had all the members line up in a row, and one of them had an unlucky bowl full of super spicy food, but it all looked normal. So or no, sorry, all of the members except one didn't get it. So like all you have 6 members, or no, it's 5 because there were 6 members at the time. You had 5 members ate terrible food. They couldn't even talk afterwards, and one member was like dancing up down like, "Yay, I didn't get it!" And like,
Wow.
and then the thing is in that middle part, it's a break where it's just like something on a snare drum, like that, and it just keeps going for a while, and then it'll break into the chorus next. And so you had 5 members like struggling to breathe. One of the members fell down on the ground and was rolling around like this, like she had been poisoned.
Oh, jeez.
Another member was like trying to sing, and she's like and like she couldn't sing. You had another one of the members like ran off the stage trying to get water, and like was dousing her mouth with it. And then the other member that didn't get poisoned or just sick, and she was just laughing at everybody, just like not singing. It was like one of them had to sing this part, but none of them could because everybody was just like, it was pandemonium, and it was so funny. I was like in tears on the ground laughing. And then like when I was up there for my Seitan side, I did a beer drink off with a real tough girl, Enma. Enma's like, she has her own group called Bakashinu, and now she's actually graduating from Imomomo to do Bakashinu exclusively because now she's got like a whole like couple girls with her. And she's real tough. She's like Ikemen type. Like she has so many female fans because she dresses like Ikemen, and she's real tough. Like the girl that I like, Mina Say, always tries to go over and like touch her, and Enma will just push her away. I'm like, get away from me! Don't touch me. But Mina Say still loves her. It's like this cool little love story. Anyway, that's a whole side thing. But I remember going on the stage, and they gave me a big beer, and they gave me a really big tall boy, we hit the drinks. I drank her out like 2 seconds. She was laughing. She was like, okay. And then the funny part was, I had to go into the chorus afterwards. I think I've told you guys the story. And then like they didn't expect me to do it, but I knew the chorus. I had Kosami wrote down the lyrics for me that morning, and I took the mic from Minase and I started singing it, and they freaked out. Like they all just got down in a circle and was like, Derek, Derek. And then like all the
Nice.
emo fans were like doing the catch it to me. And it was so funny because it was like that song elevates. Because now every time I hear it, I like keep waiting for them to invite me to go on stage and do that again. You know,
Oh wow.
I want them to so much because I'll totally do it again. But it was like, I still carried that because they probably thought it'd be funny to invite me on stage to do that, and then they were thinking, well, he doesn't know the chorus, and then I did, and they were just so shocked, you know. So honestly, best moment and like best song, I guess, for that reason. Sorry, that was a long answer, but good.
That's okay.
Great story. Great
That's
story.
great story
I love
though.
Yeah.
Thank you.
it. DX, you can go.
Yeah, for me it's I've actually got two songs that really stood out for me. I really like them. It was Ice One's Secret Story of the Swan. It was one of the few girl crush songs that Ice One did as a whole group and not as the separate subunit basically. I really like this. I really like this as a main release and I still use it during my workouts. And along that was the group I discovered this year, Everglow, and the current single La Di Da. I still love that song as well. I really like the retro look of the MV, and it felt like a blast from the past basically. And I still listen and watch the MV of that particular song daily basically. Usually when I wake up, my computer automatically shuts on, and usually the YouTube link is in the history, so I just click it and I just do my morning chores just to get started basically. So it's basically my starting up song. But yeah, those two songs, I haven't got one song of the year. I've got two. It's basically those two
Sure.
songs basically. So
That's awesome. Great reason.
La Di Da is really good. I was not expecting it to be that good. Seriously, it's like you turned it on and it punched you in the face with how good the music video and everything about it was. To be honest,
Exactly. I even downloaded the song in 4K.
Nice.
Okay, smart choice. Okay, Maria, you can go next.
So for me, there is two, and it really shows my bias because, well, one of them is Hirate Yurina's Daichi's Dance no Ryu, and like with this, I have to compare with Derek has said of how like the songwriting tends to be like really formulaic, and it's just like done without any heart. There is heart in Dance no Ryu. Hirate herself was participated in writing that song. And Akipi wrote the lyrics, and well, that she's obviously still his favorite girl, Which I can't blame him. I can't blame him. She is amazing, though. Like everything about the song, the lyrics, the song itself, it screams that she. Like actually, I would even. I think I said this to Meta. It's like the reason Geaki had to rebrand was because it was never Geaki's concept. It was always Techi's concept.
Yeah, yeah.
And that she's continuing on with that, and she is slaying it, and oh god, I love her.
It shows. It shows.
I'm thinking about her now, and oh god, I love her, and everything about it was perfect, and just especially the ending of the song where it goes an octave. There's first it goes like a bit above, it changes octaves, and then it goes even harder and even harder, and I just love it so much. And for my second pick, still shows my bias. It's Kai, my all-time favorite male idol.
Of course.
I bought his album, and my favorite is actually a B-side from his album, Nothing on Me, and well, it starts out kind of slower, and you think oh, will this be the slow song of the album? But no, then the chorus comes in and it has such a drop, and he just goes, I want nothing on me but you, which is he has a really sexy concept, so I like that line, it shows that off, and it just goes off so much. And then slows down again, and then the chorus comes again and goes even harder. The drop is perfect. Like the entire album and that song especially are produced so well. I think they had Grammy nominated mixes and that kind of people working on it, like they were not sparing any money on that album, and you can hear it. It's like everything is so full and right and amazing. Like it helps that the album itself that I bought and got, like it's so pretty. Like I got so many posters. I'm not kidding. I got so many posters. I had got like one huge poster, and then like I think 11 double-sided
Jeez.
A3 posters. So it's like I don't have them all up, but I have like most of them up here in the corner, and you can see like a bit of them from here. Like,
Ooh,
yeah.
there it is. Oh, yeah, it's
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yes.
awesome.
There it is.
yeah. So
Very
just
cool.
I'm so happy for them. So two of my all-time favorite female idol and my all-time favorite male idol released songs that I adore, and I could not be happier.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's really good.
Awesome.
Great. Meta, you're the last one to
Huh?
round us off for this category.
So I'm gonna go for two choices as well. One because it grew on me gradually,
Mhm.
and the other song has been with me since it came out. I like listening to it again and again. And the first one, the one I keep putting on my playlist, is "Touched by Heart," the BNK CGM charity single. It's an original song, and there are maybe 5 or 6 different versions of the song out there now. And there's an English one that no one should listen to. Just skip that one. And listen to the original one or Japanese one, or the one where everyone plays instruments instead. Those are the good ones. And I think it's a really heartwarming song. It has a good message, and it stuck with me. Like, ever since it was out, it's been one of those songs that I listen to when I feel down, and it makes me smile.
Mm.
The other one I didn't like when it came out at first at all, actually, and it's kind of embarrassing to say because it became such a hit, but I didn't like Dori Dong at all until it had gone a couple of listens.
Oh wow.
Because
Okay,
that's the type of song that I have never heard before, and it's supposed to be inspired, or it is inspired by a certain type of genre in Thailand that we Westerners don't really hear that much. So when I first heard it, it was culture shock. But then suddenly, after going maybe 1 or 2 days, it kept playing on in my head, kept coming back, and the MV is super fun. I love the costumes, as I've said before, and it stays with you in a fun way. It's the kind of song that just makes your mood go up immediately, which makes it one of the best songs of 2020 for me.
Very good. Awesome.
Awesome.
I wanted to add, like, with English versions and the like 99% of the time, like, they aren't better. Like, the lyrics, like, if they are translated, they tend to be awful. Like, in K-pop, they have the advantage that the songs are usually originally written in English.
Right.
So it's just like, they tweak it a bit to be more appropriate because, for example, our song I love, Love Talk by a group I love, Wavy, like, the English version lyrics are already quite, dirty, so to say, but we recently got, like, a clip of the demo, and it was like, oh wow. Because, like, the original lyrics is like, it was like, we found out the original lyrics had like oh sexy F, like you sexy
Wow,
F,
yeah.
like in the lyrics, and everybody was going wild. Like, we could have heard our idols swear, and I don't know what it is, but hearing idols swear, there is nothing else more attractive than that. I don't know why,
True.
and
That's
we didn't
given,
get
yeah.
it. And we didn't get it, and we're still so mad about it.
Oh wow. Yeah,
No,
Derek.
I can definitely second that, Maria. Like, I taught Miho a bunch of swear words, and now she's just like really horrible about it. And but she still says it in like the cutest idol type of way imaginable. Like, she'll say, I'll say like, say shit, and she'd be like, oh shit, but she'll say it real cute, like, oh shit, and it's like, no, you're supposed to say it like you're angry, like, oh shit.
More aggressive,
She's
yeah.
like, yeah. So then so her idea of that is to whisper it. She's like, oh shit, and I'm like, no, that That just makes it more cuter.
Yeah,
And it's
exactly.
just like she doesn't get it, you know.
There's
Oh
there's
wow.
just something. I don't know what it is. There's just is something to it, and I hate it because like they always like even if they cover English songs, they change the lyrics. Like Cheon did it as well. She covered Gangsta, and she changed out the swear words, and that performance was amazing anyways. And if she had also sworn in it, it would be like one of the all-time
Oh,
best performances ever.
easy. See, I can imagine Cheon like getting so hard on that and like going hard with the
Oh,
dancing.
you.
Oh my god, that would be amazing.
And like in the songs, like there are few times I've heard idol swear in songs, and it's like if they say it with their like whole chest, like properly, it's just like it shocks you, and it's just amazing.
Well, I mean that's
This
like
is
you'd probably like miscast Ultimate Gorilla Bomber because that girl when she swears it is the most adorable thing in the world, but it's so hard ass and heavy, and you're just like, oh my god, like you just went into the
Did
most
you just
heaviest
say
part.
that?
But it's cute. She's like, and she's like, like gives you like the cute middle finger.
Oh
It's
wow.
not. It's and like it's cute when idols do that because because the
That's
Chica
very-
idols. Yeah, it's like very cute. Like it's
Yeah.
not. They take something that's a picture of aggression and flip it over to something that's very idle and has flowers
No,
growing out of it.
Actually, saying "fu" like cheerily or like that's actually I would say kind of a girly thing to do. It's like it's ironic. You have to be like yeah, I like you too.
Right. Exactly.
I think that's actually quite a girly thing. Girls are toxic, so to say.
No.
Yeah, seems so. Colin?
This was a tangent.
Yep, basically.
It's everyone, I think. So
Yeah.
the last category, the most shocking moment.
Yeah, since
is
we're
for you,
talking about
DX.
shocking actually, so yeah. Most shocking moment. So, well, this year has been shocking in general, so it's going to be interesting. The choices are going to be interesting to hear. I'll head out first with the most shocking moment, and for me that was, well, COVID doesn't discriminate no matter who you are. If you're a politician, a sports player, a regular person, a famous person, or even an idol, you get hit. And when I read the article about Shiro Mamiru being hit with COVID-19, I was like, whoa, this virus it doesn't show mercy. It just takes you prisoner for her. And
Mm.
it really made me realize anyone getting that hit, no matter how careful you are in general, it can be just a sudden accident. You can suddenly touch your eyes or your nose or something like that, and you get infected. So for me, when Miru was infected with COVID-19, it was like a shock. It really made me realize anyone can be a victim, basically. And that sudden realization was, yeah, it hit me hard. Let's keep it at that. So,
Okay, fair. Yeah.
Colin, go for it.
I actually have, depending on how long I will rent, a long one. So I actually don't want to go not last because it's a thing.
Okay,
Trust me.
Maru.
Okay. For me, I once again have two. I think this is a pattern. I'm very indecisive with these things. One of them, once again, I think everybody expects this. The Gayaki rebrand. It came out of nowhere, basically. Well, not out of nowhere. Like, you could see the signs, like, looking back now. But, like, at the time, nobody expected it. When, like, they all took the stage and they were crying and Yuka was just there also crying and just saying the words. Like, my heart stopped for a moment. I was like, is this real life?
Mhm.
That it just, and for a moment I really was like, will this be it? Like, what's gonna happen? Like, it was really, really shocking. And the other one, I assume most of the people watching it, you all would know it, but my all-time favorite group, EXO, they actually, a member, the beginning of this year, revealed that he's getting married and that his fiancée is pregnant. And he wasn't
Whoa.
even publicly dating at that point. Like, it was an open secret among fans that, like, he was dating. Like, like not everybody knew it, but like if you were interested in it and looked into it, like you knew he is dating somebody. But the fact that he was getting married and the fiance was pregnant was, it came out of
Yeah.
nowhere. He like wrote a handwritten letter to fans and everything, and oh god, fans got so mad, so
Mm.
incredibly mad. Some of the Korean fans, like the international and Chinese fandoms, were on his side, which is very good. But the Korean they were straight up trying to put up ads in his hometown, like getting bus ads and like get ads taken out in the papers to like promote him leaving the group. It was like to that point. Thankfully, he's still in the group, and he had a baby daughter in April, who we call his little April princess. So you know, but it was really shocking when it happened.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Mm.
Nette.
Mine should be fairly easy to guess. It's more of a happy shock kind of thing. And it combines two things because it happened at the exact same time. But when they announced music for third place in the general election, and there were only two people left, being Jane and Chaprang, and I didn't know. I was so happy. I was crying because Jane was going to be second or first, and I was happy because Chaprang again was going to be second or first, most likely. At that time, I thought, she was going to come first. And then when they said that Chaprang got second place, and I know, and most of us who follow BNK know that after getting first place last year, she didn't actually want to go in the election again this time.
Mm-hmm.
And now she gets that burden taken off of her. And Jane, who's been she's popular, but I never thought she was going to go first place in the Solsenkyo. And I was so crying because I was so happy for her. And she deserved like all the best. And then getting to choose her favorite song from her favorite AKB member being the center of heavy rotation. It was just so many feelings at once, and I don't think a lot of us saw it coming before it actually happened. And I even got messages going, "Your favorites are in first and second." I was so happy, and it's just one of those moments that I go back to, going, "This is the best feeling of happiness."
I can imagine.
Everything went right there.
Yeah.
Everything
Yep.
went as you wanted.
Yep.
Yep.
Colin.
So, I picked something that if you went back in time
Mhm.
to a year ago and you
Yeah.
told me, Colin, this is the thing that will shock you the most, and it will ultimately result in you losing interest, I would have beat the shit out of you, because I could not imagine that that would be how I would be feeling. And it happened on February the 7th. Matsuri Jirina announcing graduation. Why did I
Wow.
pick this? Well, when she announced it, I was still surprised. And in hindsight, I would have gone 50-50. But what ultimately happened is, well, I lost interest in Matsuri Jirina quicker than Thanos annihilated half of the universe in Avengers Infinity War. Which is surprising because I absolutely loved her. I still do. I think she's an absolutely fantastic person. She is, in my opinion, still the queen of the 48 group. Absolutely fantastic. What did it for me was that even the month before, I recall we even talked about it in 48 Talk, where she announced, "Oh, I'm taking back, the rightful throne that I owned, but because after the whole thing happened with the Sankyo, yada yada yada, she went on a hiatus for quite a long time,
Yep.
which I accepted. I was like, fine, long story condensing in a very short part. And then she came a little bit back, but slow and steady. And then a month before, she's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna reclaim that throne." And then a month later, she's like, "Yeah, I'm out." And that, even in hindsight, I was like, I respect it. Still, it's her choice, and it's really me. So she didn't do anything wrong. It's just me. It's that for someone I respected so much that I thought she is absolutely fantastic. What I probably, in hindsight, now I know what I loved about her the most was her drive. But now, announcing graduation, I was like, "Oh yeah, you're not. You want to do other things. That's fine, perfectly fine. Of course, that's not an issue, really. But it is more that comparing to Michan, Minigishi Minimi, who announced graduation, still doing things in AKB. Jurina is doing that too. But her, I'm still, if she's doing something, I will watch it. Absolutely love her. But with Jurina, I have not paid attention to what she has been doing. I occasionally see like a tweet, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's nice. I'm not really interested in what she wants to do further. If she were to be like, say, Oshima Yuko or Achan, where she would be acting, I'd be still interested. But it's more like weird comparison. Kuramuchi Asuka is like who I really liked, but I'm not really interested in what she's been doing now. It's not something I inherently have an interest in. And the same goes for Jurina. It's not really quite what I go for, and I don't actually. I may say because of her announcing graduation, I lost interest. I don't really have another explanation as to why. It just happened. It happened that she announced it. It happened that I was like, okay, I respect that. There's nothing bad about Jurina at all. It's just me being like, okay, I'm going to move on. I'll focus on other girls. You didn't do anything. I'm not interested anymore. Which sucks because I was so happy she won Susenkyo. I was fine with everything that happened because I thought she was just a sort of breakdown and a burnout, fine. And then she got that the single, the self-made one. I like, hey, this is nice. One terrible song, but I like YOLO. That was nice. But to make a long ramble, confine it to a rather small moment. While I think Matsui Jurina is amazing, ever since she announced graduation, and she's still in the group, I'm not really interested in her affairs, in her things, what she's been doing. She's doing YouTube, but I'm not subscribed because it's not there anymore. And it's, again, totally me. It may be controversial because she has diehard fans, but yeah, let's go.
Like, I know what the feeling is like falling out of love with idols. It's gonna be really weird at times. Like, I don't know how you were with Chorina, but at times it's like you have habits surrounding that idol, Oh, this time I check what she's been up to, what they've been doing, and then suddenly when you don't care anymore, you just have this slot open and you're like, what do I do now? Like, I don't know what to do because I used to be really into BTS. Like, back in like 2017, they were like my second group, like, overall. And then like it was also like really sudden. Like, in end of 2017 they released the song I Hated, and like suddenly I was just not into them anymore. And I literally had like so much time left open, I had no idea what to fill with.
Now, so that feeling that I have. It's really, again,
Yeah.
not her. I can't really explain it other than I have. It's just unfortunate. I still think she's an absolutely fantastic person, but
yeah, you don't really like want to. You're not interested in getting back into them anymore. But you kind of miss being into them.
Yeah.
Like, it's like you miss what was, but it can't be anymore.
Yep.
No, yeah, and that's maybe the thing. Also, in another way, I don't keep it short because otherwise I'll be talking too long. I just move on. I'm like, okay, this is how I feel. I knew it. I didn't want to admit it, but I knew that was the thing. So I'm just like, you know what? Let's focus on other things because that's what I kind of do. You got to move on.
Exactly.
So, as long as you remember the people that you used to be.
Exactly.
That's a quote. But yeah, that's the pick. I didn't like picking it, but that's how I felt.
Derek.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine was the same as yours, DX, and COVID really was the big shock to the idol world. The reaction of it, the fact that it disintegrated AKB almost entirely, like it broke down the system it had. Maybe that's also one of the reasons why they're just throwing out songs to throw out songs. They don't, they can't do handshake events. It's like, what do we care? Like I feel very much in shock over the fact that, like, I remember, like, when I had to go, I still had some work with idols here and there. Like, I remember going to Shibuya Station, coming out of the station and like going into Shibuya, like where Hachiko's statue is, and it was like empty. It was empty. Like, it was like, that's weird. Like, to not see idols there.
Lively, normal. Yeah, Hachiko Square is lively. Yeah.
It's the meeting place, and
Yeah,
all the
exactly.
idols, they'll meet there to go walk over to the venues in Shibuya. I can't tell you how many times I met Necroma there, and we would walk to the venue together. That, and then also going to Electric Town Square exit at Akihabara Station, and it's completely barren. The AKB cafe is not there anymore. And then on top of that, like, there's no idol performances that were like in the square, which most idols do until the police chase them away. Or like, also you just see tons of idol groups passing out flyers, and for a while there was nothing. It was like a ghost town. I mean, it still is to some minor degree as far as idols go. I mean, now it's packed. I mean, like, you wouldn't think of pandemics at all hitting this place. It's packed everywhere, but it's just that was a big shock. Seeing the faces of everybody that I'm used to seeing just not there anymore. Instead, I'm seeing masks. Which, don't get me wrong, in Japan, masks are like a century-old tradition or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, that's not. But now it's everybody. Like, it's just really the only ones you don't see wearing masks are dumb foreigners that come here and think it's okay to not wear masks. And I mean, don't get me wrong, there's dumb Japanese that do it too, but it's not as many, of course. And all the idols, like, not being able to see their pretty faces most of the time, only when they're doing like Checky or when they're on the stage. It's weird. It's just it's by far the biggest shock was the first live I went to where mixing wasn't allowed, and the fans, they're doing this, and they can't
Yeah.
do the Tiger Fire Cyber, which I'm used to hearing at ear splitting levels at some shows. They can't do it. You don't see no more lifting. Like, lifting at like the Ibeck and Leiwon shows, for example, you would see human pyramids 3-4 people high. I mean, insanity. And that's gone. And dancing it was like for a while totally prohibited. All of that was really a painful blow to seeing the Mary Bad End fans, who get pretty loud at their shows, have to replace their loudness with like little hand clappers. Some guys bring little toy drums and bang on the drums at parts, and a couple guys are trying to do like recordings and stuff, but it just, I don't know. You basically took an entire industry and you stripped away all the fun and the money, and it's amazing it's still around. Again, at some point towards the end of the summer, I think everybody was like, screw it, like, we're just gonna go back. And so now idol shows are in full swing. I am seeing more and more venues allowing mixing. Not many, like all the ones like in Shibuya, for example, they don't allow anything. But if you go to some of the off ones, they allow you to do it. I know at X Hall in Nagoya, I was just recently there. I was in Nagoya in the fall and at X Hall, and they didn't allow mixing. This last show this past weekend, they allowed mixing. People were pretty loud. So I don't know. But at the same time, when people mix, they do this. Even with the mask on, they'll still put their hand over their face and do this because Japanese people are deathly afraid of transmitting. But that being said, the biggest shock of all was the fact that I still have not worked with anybody that's got COVID. The entire industry, not one. Now recently, last questions, Shinogu has got a bad fever and she's scared to death it's COVID because her brother got tested for COVID and maybe he might have it. So I had to cancel the last question online checky session I was supposed to do with them a couple days ago. We're rescheduling, of course, but that's it. I mean, all the shows I've been to in these packed little non-ventilated crap holes in Tokyo, like hundreds of them over the past year, and not one. So I'm pretty happy about that shock. And I hope it stays that way. I mean, I hope, I don't know, things seem to be getting worse. And, Japan's far down on the list of getting the vaccine as far as countries go. But, I suspect that'll change because they're trying so hard to have the Olympics here.
Yeah.
And they're not going to be able to do that if they ain't got the vaccine rolling in. So they're cutting it close. But now, like, just yesterday, they announced, like, full lockdown. You can't come into the country if you're not a resident here. You're just not allowed, and for until like the end of January. And it's just like, what's that going to do? Because they're basically saying it's foreigners that are bringing in the problem, but it's not. It's just people not practicing being safe, and also it's little clusters and not controlling that. And ironically, the reason why they did that lockdown was because of a pilot who brought it in, that UK variant strand that's
Oh
going
yeah, yeah.
around. He infected like a ton of people, and they caught it. They caught all the people, I think, but they didn't say if he was a national or not, which I think is kind of ironic. But I think he was a Japanese person. So it's like
Ooh.
a Japanese person did it, but you're going to ban all the foreigners. Okay, that makes sense. But typical Japan, racist as they are. And I will very much say that.
But
There's a please go ahead.
yeah. But
Go
on
ahead,
the
go ahead.
similar topic, like I want to know how it is like in Japan with like idols, like with Corona, because I've noticed in Korea it's been like if let's say one idol has gotten Corona, because there have been a few, then it's not just like the group mates and the like who get tested. It's also like for other groups who, for example, share a stylist or a makeup artist
Uh-huh.
with that group who also get tested. So it will be like, oh, this one idol has Corona, so these groups have share some stuff, so they are all going to get tested as well. Like,
Yeah,
is it similar with J-pop at the moment or not?
Major level, yeah, sure, because they're more organized. In the Chica world, anything goes. It depends on how crazy fanatical your management is about that. But so far, I don't know, a single person's got a PCR test, not one. And again, we've been lucky, but I also suspect two things here. One, there's, thousands of Chica idols, and I'm sure one of them has got it. I'm sure more than one has had it. I doubt we've been completely unscathed through fans, whatever. But the second thing is, I don't think anybody's telling anybody. I think if somebody's got it, they're just staying home and saying they don't feel good. And they're not revealing it, because if they did that, it would cause, I think, that situation, and I don't think anybody wants that. And I also think people are ashamed of it and they're embarrassed. Like, I know a couple of producers who outright told me if they knew they had COVID, they wouldn't tell anybody, because they don't want the ostracization that would come from that. They would lose all their fans, their business would be gone. They're just not going to tell anybody. So, and considering a lot of COVID is asymptomatic, like you don't even have symptoms, why say anything? So it's like, now again, that's a crappy way of looking at it, because you can still spread it to everybody, but it's just kind of how it is here. And also it fits the culture here. People don't talk about those things. You got a problem, you keep to yourself, including disease. And then because you're wearing a mask, you can't tell, and like if you have a fever, you just stay home. Like here's what's interesting. A lot of these venues, I can walk right in. They don't test me. They don't give me a temperature check. They don't care. They don't even care if I'm wearing masks, because I'm staff. Now that's not every venue. There's a lot of venues that treat me like just like the fans, but it's not as many as you would think. The majority of the venues I visit, they don't test me at all. They don't care. So, and the idols especially, they don't test idols at all. So it's like the idols in most cases are the only ones without masks. So when they're performing, they don't have their masks on. And so when they're doing checky, 90% of the time, they have to take their mask off to take the checky, because the fans request it. Fans are number one. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like,
Exactly.
if one of them had it, they're going to spread it to everybody. So it's like there's a lot of contradictory, crappy practices that they're doing. It's like, if you really want to be safe, don't have lives at all. It's not ventilated in most cases, and you can take your 5 minutes in between sets to roll out a big fan and try to get some air in there. What's that going to do? And then, if you're offering drink tickets, you have to buy drink tickets when you go to shows. You have to. Well, what does that mean when you buy a drink? You have to do what? Pull your mask down and drink. So all it takes is one bit of spit to come out. The more you drink, the more you get drunk, the more you don't give a crap. Your mask is halfway up. You just. It's like, if you really want to be safe, you can't have any lives. Like, that's really the solution. But at the same time, nobody's reported a single thing. So yeah, I'm sure it's there. But I mean, I feel pretty safe. I don't know. Like, we just don't talk about it. In fact, most of the idols, they look at it as a big annoyance. They're done with it. Aphrodite, the group I work with, they never wear masks. It's almost, unless they're forced to by the venue. Yasumulto-san's like, do what you feel is right. If you don't want to, don't. And the girls are like, no, we don't, because we want to just have fun. We don't care. Now, again, that's them being young and not thinking, but it's just, That's kind of how it is here. Everybody's tired of it. Everybody's super tired of it. And they're just like, we want to move on. So that's been the biggest shock, is how COVID has really affected all of us this year. I mean, it's obviously the top story of the year, and it's really destroyed and decimated a large part of this
Yeah.
industry that I'm in.
Oh
So
yeah. Oh, definitely. It's more like if you're not allowed to scream or do the mixes, that is almost like 50 to 75% of the fun, basically. So
yeah, it's no fun.
yeah.
But then the ironic part is, after, when you do the checky, you're this close to the girl and you're talking, and she has her mask off and you're just talking, and you pull your mask down too sometimes, or the girls will touch you, like sometimes, like some of the girls will hug you, like they're not supposed to even get near you.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the idols, they have this like plastic banner thing in between, and you'll take the checky over here and they'll put their faces next to it. But then what do the girls do? They go around and they give you the checky. They touch you. It's like, well, what's the
Yeah, that's the
point?
point. Wow.
Every single idol does that.
It's performative safety, I would say. It's kind of the same why, like, on like variety shows and the like, they have these screens between them, etc., and these like see-through masks, like even with Sakura Saka. But then, like, once the show is over, they are gonna gather together, take off those masks, and still be together. Like, those masks and those screens, they mean nothing. They are just there to give the illusion.
Yeah, it's just for the
Exactly.
stage,
Like,
basically.
we're
Just for the
doing
stage.
something.
Yeah.
But then my thing is, well, then why limit mixing it all? When the masks are on, the guys are doing this. Let them have fun. It's like, if you're gonna allow them to get this close to an idol's face when they're 15, 20 feet away from the stage mixing, that's way safer. You know what I mean? So it's just, I don't see the point. But at the same time, that's been the big discussion for all of us. Each one of us here has had this impact our lives, who we are, what we're doing, each one of us. And it's not just idol, it's everybody. So it's like, that's been the thing that I'm hoping next year we don't even think about. Everybody be vaccinated. It'd be something we're still gonna have to live with for probably a long time, but it will be like an afterthought. Like, oh, you remember last year? Yeah, that was horrible. Now it's back to normal, as normal as we can get.
Exactly. It all depends on the vaccine and getting it, actually. So
That's true.
that's why I don't understand people that don't want to get vaccinated, because it's more like I'm feeling like, do you still want to be, like a social outcast after everyone else got the vaccine or something like that?
There are some. The thing with the vaccines is, because my family has discussed it a lot, is they are very untested, and there could be some long-term effects that we don't know about yet, which is true. And it's like, I'd say you should still vaccinate, because rather a problem later than a problem now.
Exactly. It's more like,
But the vaccine could still have unknown problems. It's not like, oh, the vaccine is a vaccine, what could it do badly? It is very new and very untested, and it is, like, being rolled out
Rapidly.
as fast as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's more like, if you ever want to be able to travel, get into an airplane or airport even, airline is going to demand some proof of vaccination, basically, or otherwise they don't carry you to your destination. Basically, it's more like it's basically a necessity now. So you kind of have to, because if you don't, well, you're stuck in your own country. Basically, you're not allowed to travel.
Well, yeah, I mean, I remember, like, when I forget where I was going, but it was like I was going overseas for something, and I remember I was specifically asked, did you have your, like, MERS test and SARS test, and you should get tested, or you should get vaccinated, sorry, before you go, and because you're going to an area where that's like a prevalent thing. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, no problem. I didn't even give it a thought. Like, of course, I'll do that. Like, it didn't bother me. But you're right. But Maria, you're right. Like, this vaccination stuff has been rolled out at a massively rapid rate, just to get things going. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, if it works, well, great. But will it? And that's the big question I think we're gonna have in 2021. That's gonna affect us all. Is, what if the vaccine doesn't work? What if it just gives us a little bit of immunity, and then we just go right back into having this pandemic situation all over again, maybe even worse? I don't know if that's gonna happen. Everyone seems
and
pretty
then it
confident, but
just mutates,
it just mutates
and
and
then the virus
mutates.
just mutates, and the vaccine doesn't work anymore, and goodbye. Just
Flip
Yeah,
happens.
Yeah.
right. So that's what I'm hoping won't be the story of 2021. I'm hoping the story of 2021 will be life returns back to life, you know, and I hope with that the idol world returns back to normal again too.
although on a morbidly positive note, I've heard the life in like middle-aged Europe after the plague was really nice because there was so much more space for everybody and so much more resources.
Oh wow.
That is shockingly awful, but yet I love it.
Is one heck of a way to basically, yeah. That's one heck of a view, I guess. What the?
That's one way of putting it. Weed out the less lucky, and well, we'll have more space on the earth. Yay!
Oh
Spoken
man.
like somebody who comes from Dracula's home world.
Yeah.
That makes sense. You and your Wallachia. So
Oh,
right
man.
on.
Well, that's one way to cap off this. Well, that's one way to cap off this special. So we're like, yeah, but the
And
main
on that
thing
happy
is,
note,
yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, but in any case, I just want to say to everyone listening and following along, just stay safe and take your responsibility and have a happy new year. Any of you guys want to say closing words?
Thank you all
I
for
do, but
watching.
like, yeah.
Thank you all for commenting, liking, all those things. We were gone for a while,
Oh.
but thank you. We were gone for a while, but we're now kind of sort of back. We'll keep it more consistent. And thank you for sticking with us.
Maru, any closing thoughts?
We love you all, even the MNL48 fans who like to swear at us. We love you too. Like, in the end, we're all fans. I get what it's like to protect your own group and be protective of them. Even if I disagree with you, I still like you. Okay. Happy New Year and Merry Christmas.
Mette.
Happy New Year, everyone. I hope 2021 will be great for you, for us, and let's keep having fun doing this together next year.
Derek.
Yeah, yoi atoshio. You know, have a very lovely new year, and whatever you guys do, stay safe. And you know, I hope you'll keep watching us. Make sure you give us lots of comments. Let us know what you're thinking about for 2021. Let us know your lists. We'd love to know what you guys thought, like with our categories. What were your category picks? I cannot wait to read them because every time we do a New Year's thing, it always is awesome to read everybody's comments because some of you guys get like real biblical about it. You guys write volumes, and I love it because you're like a person after my own heart. I will say this: I am leaving all of you in the new year today or tonight, actually, here in Japan on the 30th. I am releasing the movie trailer for my documentary, The Flowers of Passion.
Ooh, nice.
So that is going to be
I
released
saw
tonight.
like the poster. It was so pretty.
Thank you. Yes, that is the official movie poster. That is
Yeah.
Chihiro, the
Nice.
leader for Mary Bad End, who is I'm very, 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 very close to. Chihiro is basically the star of the documentary. I filmed a lot of her. She was the most open out of all the idols. She gave me her entire life story. She's great, and you get to see a lot of her. You get to see an arc with her. I don't know. Her story's sad, but it's also good. And it's the story of Idol. But in addition to that, I'm also going to be putting up tonight, in addition to the trailer, a website where you can purchase the documentary. And that'll be coming out on the 15th of January if all goes well.
Nice.
It's going to be a 5-disc series, so it's 5 episodes. And it was 6, but I had an Idol group drop out at the last minute last week, which pushed back my entire plans. I was going to release a trailer on Christmas. That didn't come through. But everything's going according to schedule right now. Just going over the subtitles. Just make sure the subs are good. And I had somebody do the subs for me, and she did a good job. But just little things I got to fix. So doing that right now, getting the final bit of the background music done, and then it's done. So I mean, I can get that done, I think, this week or next week. So anyways, you'll be able to buy the 5 discs as a set. And not only that, but that poster you saw is actually one of 6 posters. There are actually 5 other posters I'm going to be posting with different idols on it that are all part of the doc. All their stories are being told. So in addition to getting all the posters, you're also going to be able to get the DVD sets with the picture of the DVD set with the idol that you like on it. So you can support all of them. You can buy your Oshi if you like. On top of that, I'm going to give everybody a chance to buy a thank you credit in the doc. So if you want to help me out financially, you can get your name in the actual documentary movie and the thank yous. I will give a window of time to create the credits for you. And then I'm also offering an executive producer credit, a couple of those where if you want to give a lot of money and have your name appear in the front of an episode instead of the back, where it's right up front that shows your name. Remember, movies are forever. This will be around well past my life and your life. If you want to be immortalized and be part of something, I'm giving you that chance to do that. And not only that, it's an important thing. I feel what I've created is a good slice of idol world that I've been a part of. I filmed it from August 2019 to January 15th, 2020, which is why I'm releasing on the 15th, because it's exactly 1 year of filming and editing. I really, really hope everybody's going to support it, because I can't just sell a little bit of this. I need to sell a lot of it, because I basically drained my entire life savings to do this. I laid it all out there. So this is the one thing out of everything I've ever done that I need everybody to support with all their heart. And I hope the film that you're going to see will inspire you enough to do that. I hope the trailer you're going to see tonight will inspire you enough to be like, oh yeah, I'm getting behind that. Feel free to hit me up if you want to do reviews of it, or if you want to interview me, you want to interview some of the idols a part of it, you want to do like an early movie preview and you have a blog, hit me up, because I am open for every single bit of publicity I can get, including this right here. So thank you. And thank you guys too. You guys have all been very supportive. My fellow cast members here. You guys always do nothing but be patient with me with my stories, and also like really support everything I'm doing. And I appreciate that a lot. And so you guys will definitely be some of the first on the list to see this, I'm sure. So maybe
Can't
after
wait.
this, maybe we can
Looking forward to it.
take a little sneak preview or something of it. So
Hey.
anyways, thank you guys so much. That's Happy New Year. Hopefully that'll start off 2021 in a really positive way.
And with that, from us from 48 Talks / Idle Downtime, I would say Happy New Year, stay safe, and may better times come in 2021. Take care, everyone.
Yo toshio.
Next time.